What up, guys? Welcome back to All Gas Podcast, where we talk about racing and only racing. I'm Factor.
Kevin.
And today we have FatKid of ThinkFat Racing.
What's up, man? Thanks for being on here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for finally getting on here.
So, before we get into this big announcement, we are on audio platforms now. We are on Google Podcasts, iTunes Music, Spotify, and for Android, Podcast Addict and Spotify. So, we are on audio format. Check it out. Like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube channel. All that, you know the works, guys. But in the meantime, let's get into it. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Chilling.
Man, so, your history. A lot. You've been
right?
around a long time.
A long time.
It's like we were talking about earlier about in the shops. Like it says, it tells a story because you have so much shit in your like.
Yeah.
No, yeah. You have old stuff, new stuff. I mean, it really does tell the history of, your program.
I can pull out the Fields VTEC controller right now.
Yeah.
So, everyone knows kind of like the car. They don't really know you, of course.
Yeah.
This is what the show's for. Let's get into a little bit of your history and how you got started.
Right?
If you could think back to those times, those days.
Right.
I think I first started doing import stuff.
Well, because you started in what? 4-wheel drives, right? That's
No. First car, Honda Civic. And then started modifying from there, But that was 98, I think. I don't know. It's been a long time. I just moved around from there, doing different things, and then leaving the scene for a long time of the race stuff, and then coming back to it about 7-8 years ago, just because I felt like I wanted to get back and do some racing. Because after NHRA left the sport, we really didn't do a whole lot of racing.
yeah.
Nobi took over for a while, and then they kind of went downhill on the West Coast at least. And we weren't big enough back then to be able to cool, let's go to Texas or let's go to Arizona was about as far as we would go back then.
Yeah, because you guys are, what'd you say, 8-hour drive from Arizona?
It's
Roughly.
an 8-hour drive to Tucson, but
Yeah.
Phoenix, where Firebird was, or Wild Horse now, is about 7-hour drive.
Okay.
So it's a little bit nicer coming back from Firebird than it is from Tucson.
I'd rather drive that drive anyways than going north, going to Sac and stuff like that.
They both suck. It's just there's nothing there. Once you get out of LA, it's empty.
Yep.
Once you get out of Phoenix, it's empty all the way till you get into Riverside, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been doing the racing thing and been in import stuff for a long time. For me at least.
So who got you into imports?
Shit. I think it was my buddy's car when we were in high school. He had an Accord. And I first wanted an Accord because I'm like, it looks cool. He had, it was lowered. It had Racing Heart Type C's on it.
What was your first Honda?
A 90 Civic hatchback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I couldn't afford an Accord because he had a 94 Accord on C2s, Racing Heart C2s. And white, slammed, and the car looked good. I was
Accords look good on Racing Hearts. I don't like Accords, but they look good on Racing Hearts.
When you're 16
back
years
then,
old,
yeah,
it's
they
you
look
look at
good.
it, and it looks, and you got all your friends in the car with you. You're rolling, and it made me I kind of want like that, but I didn't have that budget, so I got into a Civic, and then slowly modified that from the single cam, put a ZC swap, did the swap by myself back then. But there was nothing like they have today where it taught you well, you need to do this or that. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of you had to try it and fail.
Old school hot rod kind of trial and error shit, right?
That's the crazy part. You think 20 years. You just call it 20 years. Year 2000 to 2020.
Yeah.
Look at the gap of just computers and the knowledge.
The information gap is huge.
It's wild.
When
you went from a spoon Mugen chip or your controller to... Now we have Motex and AEMs and all this other wild stuff.
You're looking at shit on your phone now.
Yeah.
The wealth of knowledge that's on the internet is crazy. You can go look up
I don't know
anything.
if I call it knowledge, but...
Well, some of it's good,
no,
some of it's bad. You just have to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
A lot of people read stuff online that is very false.
Yes.
But there is a lot of good information there too if you're learning it for the first time. Obviously, if you get bad information, you're going to go out there, you're going to try it, it's not going to work, and then you're going to have to make your own educated guess on what you want to move forward from there. But
That's
a
nice.
lot has changed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, back then I did the ZC swap because I couldn't afford a V16, you know?
Yeah.
That was...
CC block with a white head.
Well, this was twin cam ZC.
Twin cam ZCs.
Shit.
So out of like
The fake
almost
LS.
like an 89 Integra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
The B20Zs.
Um,
Z2 or whatever it is.
or the D16A, whatever they were, you know?
Yeah.
They're D16A2s or some shit.
Yeah, that was something
weird.
Yeah.
So that was my first swap. Other people I know had different swaps done, but I mean, I didn't have that budget to spend $4,000 on a motor, and like,
Huh? I didn't tell.
well, the ability to not just drop a car off at a shop. Like one of my buddies, when I was a little bit older, he had Charles do a swap in his car when Charles was running Atomic.
Mm.
And he did a GSR motor in an EG hatch. This probably was like 01-ish. And it still probably cost him $5-6 grand. I didn't have $5 or $6 back then, you know? I probably had like $400 or $500 back then, you know? And then would just do the work myself.
Right.
But as you get older and you get more knowledge about what you can do and how you can make things happen.
That's how I did my first swap. We didn't know anything, nothing. We found a wrecked Integra DA. We had a CRX, and we said, all right, we're going to put a B series in CRX.
Yep.
Had no idea what we were doing. No idea. Cut our own shift linkage, weld the shift linkage back together. Did everything ourselves.
Well, I didn't even know how to weld. So I didn't do any of that welding stuff. I'd have to take it somewhere and get it done because I never learned how to weld till way later.
The only reason that we did it is because my friend's dad had a welder. We didn't know how to weld. We just went for it. We had two shift linkages just fall off on the side of the road. Think.
But
it was awesome.
it's all fun.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a learning experience,
Hell
and
yeah.
a lot of people don't get that. Is that in order to succeed, sometimes you have to fail.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You
And
know,
that's,
so like welding. You guys took a couple runs at welding that shift linkage before it stayed
Before
together.
it started staying
You know?
together. Yeah.
oh, yeah. And then we had one that was sideways. So every time you go to put it in first, it would go into second. And you're just like, ah.
Yeah.
And then you would only have second and third. And you're just like, come
Trial and
on.
error,
On there, yeah.
So but nowadays there's so much more out there. Like, and you can buy everything that's already done. Like, oh, I want to put a K motor in this car. Well, here's mounts, here's wiring
everything.
harness,
You
here's
can
the header. You can literally just buy.
I mean, it goes to
everything
what
and
kind of
bolt
what he says is cookie cutter builds, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally buy. I mean, how many people with these cars do we see do that? Where they literally buy parts online, they order it all off a catalog, put it together, and put it in there, and they do no custom padding, whatever. You literally, they might have their buddy come over and cut the mount off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, I mean, it's better than. I think it's better to learn how to do the job first, so that next time you want to do something, you're not like, "Hey, can you come over and help me do this?" Can
and
you
that's,
come
but not
do
everybody
this?"
has
what
that
I thought
mentality,
was.
though.
Well, that's what I thought was cool when you guys built the front end for the Goblin.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking rad. I said, everybody else is, I'll just order online. Didn't order. No, you guys made a full jig, figured everything out, welded up your own, bent it up your own, and now it fits. And it fits better than most other ones made because you can fit the scoop.
But also, you guys made it to your
Your car.
we
to
wanted.
what you
Yeah.
need and what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas that other one might not clear the
It
airbox
would
like we
work,
talked about.
but it's like everybody has stuff in different places.
Yep.
And so that changes the dynamic of trying to fit things.
Yep.
But yeah, I've always been like more hands-on and less trying to spend the money to
That's how-
get something done.
Yeah, that's how he is with his car. Like, we talked about that. He didn't want to go buy a wing. He's been building his own wing. I knock him
That's
every
why-
time I see it, but
That's why I need that fence back there. I need to put just a little lip on it, and then I'll be done.
Put a wicker on it, call it a day.
Yeah.
But I wasn't raised with money to burn.
Yeah.
Like my dad has a decent job. He's very humble. Drives a Civic still, but nothing was ever given to me.
Carries a gun to go to get beer.
Yeah. But nothing was ever given to me.
Yeah.
You know, so if I wanted something, always constantly had to work for it. There was no free ride. You know.
Yep.
So that's why I always try to learn how to do my own stuff, because at the end of the day, if I can keep from paying somebody to do it and do it myself, it saves me money that I could go, because we all work hard to earn money.
Oh, yeah.
And it spends a lot faster than you make it.
Well, and that's also, like you said, you're building it to your spec. You're not buying something off the shelf that's for another car.
Yeah.
You're building for what you have on your car.
Yeah.
And that makes the biggest difference.
Some things I won't try to cut on. Safety is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
If it
That's the number one thing that no
you don't
one
want a
should ever-
PVC cage?
I'll gladly eat soup for a month, 2 months to have something that's more protective over myself than try to do it myself.
You got shit to come home to. I mean, there ain't no point. If you're not having fun, if you're sitting, a wheelchair as a vegetable now, it ain't fun.
No.
That doesn't make it fun anymore.
Safety is definitely one thing that I lacked young when we first started, because everybody does. You go to the track, they're like, what's it run? You're like, oh, it might run 1050. You have a 4-point and a stock seat in the car, you know? And you go out there and you blast a 9-second pass off, and then you get fucking yelled at for it, you know?
Don't come back till you get a cage.
Last night we were sitting out there, he goes, so what seat are you gonna run? I was like, I'll probably stock one so I can afford an aluminum one. And then he goes, look, we're gonna go run 10s with a stock seat. Oh, yeah, why not?
Well, it's like when you show up in a car and the guy's like, how fast is it running? They know you're fucking lying to them. They look at the car and say, so you got this big ass turbo on here, you got all this, and you're gonna tell me it's gonna run 1050.
Kind of sounds like the guy with the green car says he's gonna run 12s, but really runs low 9s.
And
the other fat kid.
So, I don't know, ever since I've seen people been in crashes, it just changes my perspective on safety. So I'm just like, I'll gladly pay the money to get that done right, opposed to learning how to do it myself, because I don't want to find out that I did it wrong doing it myself.
Well, and that's why, like we were talking about earlier about my car, with the way I want to do my cage, not only is it going to be beneficial for the rear end, but for safety too. Yes. That car being a convertible, I mean, it's 100% different than something with a roof on it.
Yeah.
So that's why we were talking about finding certain people to do certain things, because safety is a big part of it.
Yes.
I'm not trying to roll in a convertible.
No. I don't want to roll in anything.
No, but specifically, I don't want to roll in a convertible.
I don't even want to roll in that thing.
Fuck that.
That shit's wild rolling. I've rolled in the Razor. Those things are wild.
I want to keep. I don't mind not keeping the wheels on the ground, but I just want to land back.
You want to land clean.
I want at least 2 wheels on the ground at all times, unless I'm jumping.
Yeah, or going over some whoops or something.
So, you're very consistent. You won X amount of fucking IFOs events across the West Coast. You know, we all know you won Bodie's event that we helped sponsor, and we put the bounty on you. You've had bounties on you before. Can you give us a little bit about the green car, how that came around? And so, you said about a couple of years ago you put it together.
Originally, when I decided to come back and start racing again, it was about 7 or 8 years ago. I took my buddy's Integra, who used to street race a lot. My buddy named Breeze. He, if you ever look it up, he used to street race this Integra a long time ago. He used to make some money too.
What's up, old man?
Got visitors over here wondering what we're doing.
Been sitting all day.
His legs are really bad. He's 15.
Oh, wow.
Old guy.
So when I say he's an old man, he's an old man.
So, smell my dog,
So anyways, I got this show from him, and then motor stuff like that. I mean, I put a motor together for it. I got a Sheepy kit from Sheepy off his Integra. My original kit that I have back there came off Sheepy's blue Integra.
Oh, nice.
So I got a deal on that from him and started piecing it together. It had a 67mm Borg Warner turbo on it. The goal was to go out there and run like a true street FIS. But it's been so long, they don't have a true street class for the West Coast guys. So it was a 62 or a 72 was the limit. So we ran that 67 for a while.
I would say IFO's the one that runs a
62.
Well, IF or a FIP class now, right? Or FIS?
FIS was 62mm.
Yeah.
Class, you know? But I originally built the car in mind with not putting a dog box in the car. The whole plan with that car was to go out, have fun, kind of keep it budget oriented.
Have 19 transmissions in the trailer when he goes through every single one of them going 8 seconds.
It took a while for that car to go. I mean, it would go bottom 9s.
Yeah.
I think the fastest we went on a stock trans was 930 on that 67mm board.
So how long ago was it that you finally broke 8s? When was your 8?
A couple, like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So after we ran that stock trans and we would break it like every 3 passes, end up breaking something in the transmission. I got tired of it. Rolando from Dynamic Performance hooked us up with the G-Force, put that in the car, worked flawlessly. And then after a while, the Roaches had the green Integra sitting at their house. And I wanted to build a new chassis because this other one was built in like 97. Cage, it was an all-motor car. It was built as an all-motor car back in late 90s, early 2000. Something like that. I forgot when they actually built
Those motherfuckers haven't made a sound all day. We press record. These motherfuckers.
So, once they...
Background music.
Once the cage in the car was a little bit suspect for what we were trying to do with it.
Yeah.
So, got the green car, took it over to my buddy, had him do a full cage in the car, and decided to go with the 25.5 in it because that was right after Santos had rolled his car pretty bad in Verona.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'll spend the extra money right now and just do the 25.5 in the car. Hoping that the car at some point would actually break a 850 cert, you know? Mm-hmm. Which it took like 3 or 4 years after that to finally do. But we did it, you know?
Yeah.
Finally have a cage in there that's good enough for what we ran now, you know? So we got the green car done and we've been running that for the last 3 or 4 years now, I believe.
So do you have any future plans for the car? Changing anything on it? Or are you just going to keep it consistent
no
and keep it where it's
plans. Probably throw it back on the dyno at some point here and try to run through it, try to find some more power in the car because the car is heavy.
Yeah.
With me in the car weighs 2650.
Well, there's the 650.
Yeah. So, I think it weighs 2650.
Okay.
I think. Last time we scaled it. But the car is heavy, so if we can find some more power somewhere, it would be beneficial.
Is there... So you ran mainly IFO. Is there a weight limit for IFO?
There's no weight limit. So we could come in there at 2,200 pounds, but I don't know where else to take it off at.
Yeah.
You know? I put cut doors on it already.
Yeah.
Don't put cheese on your tacos.
No. If I get an 85-pound driver like Champlain to drive it, then it would probably go 2/10 faster.
Right? Put Rome in it.
So, other than that, I just run the car, have fun with it.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff, like working with my brother's all-motor car. I got a couple buddies with turbo cars that that are in our same team that we're going to be fucking with a lot, too.
So, I know it's not going to be announced, but the other car that's in the works, who's going to drive that?
That's mainly going to be a street race car kind of deal. So that's just going to be...
Okay.
Like, if I sell the Integra, then I'll bring it to the track. But the plan is that car will be, even if it goes to the track, will be on a street tire.
Okay.
So it'll be like an 8-second street tire car.
And you know what motherfuckers always say? Oh, it's just gonna be a street car on street tires. Next time you see that a track is on full blowns and running 7s.
It'll still be on the street, full blowns.
I mean, that's the plan at least.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know who you guys had planned. If you were going to drive it or if the other boys were going to drive it. Or...
My buddy Mike had bought me a full running 94 Civic Coupe one-owner car for my birthday. Because he knew I wanted to build something, but I couldn't find a good show.
Yeah.
Like, I had the motor trans, everything sitting over there, you know? But I couldn't find a clean show. I almost sold all my all-wheel drive stuff that I had. Because I have wagon diff, viscous coupler, all that shit.
Shh. It's not supposed to be on there. Secret.
No.
Well, good thing you can't hear because of the fucking music in the background.
So, getting back to the that other car, mainly going to be a street car-ish or a street race car.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how do you feel about, that bounty that was put on you by, not only by us, but the one that was put on by IFO and stuff?
I like it because it drums people up to get them to the racetrack.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, they want to drag their feet.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I felt when I set up the one for Reading. I was like, this isn't, this is a brand new race. Not a lot of people know about it. I think if the pot's bigger, if the bounties are bigger, if there's more potential to make more money, more people are going to show up.
Honestly, the Bodie event was cool.
I liked it.
I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different format than we're used to.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely would do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, for being not a huge field and the pot was decent, but I mean, there was a decent buy-in too,
Yeah.
So.
But that's what's cool about them compared to like other races. The buy-in goes to the pot. The buy-in isn't paying for the racetrack or paying for it goes to the pot.
It goes, yeah.
That's what's pretty cool to me. So if they put up their money and then now there's 50 people that show up, that thing goes way up.
Yeah.
That's what's cool to me.
So, I mean, it was a cool race, and I think the bounties are cool because it forces people to try to come out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's be honest, anybody could win any time anybody lines up. There's never a guaranteed winner. I've lost the cars because I've done stupid shit.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
I mean, look at when you lifted the head. Or melted the head. I mean,
yeah, we went pretty far, though, with the melted head. We went all the way to the finals with no head gasket.
Oh, yeah.
But
and then smoke down the track like a diesel.
Yeah. Running down the track on a half a cylinder. But the pass before that with nothing, no water, nothing, and they still went 840 or 850 at Bakersfield.
Yeah, that's wild.
He's like, I thought you said it was broken. I'm like, it is.
That was crazy. That was crazy day.
That was
a fun day.
That was a fun weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, other than hurting the motor and qualifying, and then at least being able to limp through and make the passes that we made all the way to the finals.
You mean kind of like the people who you raced at the Bodie event in the finals?
Yeah. That was wow. So, but chip draw,
and that's the so. What is your opinions on that format versus the
ladder?
The ladder.
It's different. If you're running a chip draw race, then you know what you're going into. Traditionally, some people don't. It depends how tight the cars are in the class, Like, it sucks to be in a chip draw and you have to go against the fastest car there, but you're the second fastest car there. It sucks to see them in the first round.
Yeah.
Like when I raced Chris at Bodie's event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sucked to see him first round because I know that car was decently fast, but it sucks because we had to meet in the first round.
Yeah.
Because if we were on a ladder, he probably would have been on the opposite side of the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sucks.
Same thing with Andre.
Yeah. It just sucks when you're paired against a faster car on a chip draw.
Yeah.
Because then the four fastest cars pull each other
first round.
Much, yeah.
Yeah. So you had Andre and I'm spacing his name right now.
The gray car?
The red car.
Matt.
Matt. Yeah.
That
Andre and Matt
crazy next year.
ran first round, and then me and Chris ran first round.
Yeah.
I think Chris was the fastest because I think he went like 920 on that pass against.
Because Matt broke.
Well, Matt broke against. Matt broke against Andre.
Yeah, because Matt went 890s or 880s was his fastest pass that weekend.
Yeah, 8. Well, I think it was that pass he blew up.
Yeah.
But then it left a lot of open spots on the chip draw for other people to come in.
Yeah.
I like both ways. I like a ladder when you're racing a tight competition. Chip draw, if you have a tight competition anyways, is going to be good because everybody's a hitter.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 50-50,
That's kind of what I like about Bodie's events. It's an open event. It's not, you're not stuck.
You don't have to qualify to do a chip draw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so
you're not risking hurting nothing or any of that
if
stuff
you
just
know
to try
it
and
works,
race.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like making more passes,
That's what was cool about his event, though. He let you do a lot of practice.
Yeah.
He let a lot of, opening stuff. That was cool. So that way you're not using a qualifying to practice. You're just practicing to figure out the track, figure out your day, figure out your car.
Yeah, it's kind of like, like when you go into qualifying, you have 2-3 hits, and then you gotta figure out the track in those 2-3 hits.
Yeah.
That's like you're saying. Some people like it, some people don't. Like when we race in my car, I like to make all the hits we can.
Yeah, because
That's not a motor car,
you're
that's
learning it.
But I was saying your car also works that way. A lot of cars won't go rounds. Some cars they have to work on.
It's nice being able to get in a car and putting multiple passes down, because the only way you're going to get better in the car is getting more comfortable behind the seat.
Oh yeah.
So
we preach that fucking almost every episode.
I think that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not everybody thinks that they need seat time, but I think you learn that muscle memory. Like when I get in the car, I don't even know what I do. It's because I've made so many passes in the car. It just goes, and it's like, well, how'd the car go? And I'm like,
well, that's
don't ask me. I don't know. Look at the data.
That was like Reading. That's what was crazy. Watching your car go down that track multiple times, sideways, straight, didn't matter. And he literally ran the same time, the same mile per hour, almost every pass. It was so consistent.
Once the driver of a car gets consistent in the car, then you can make changes and see if you're actually making a good change.
Yeah.
Other than going out and making one pass and then changing something, and you don't know if it actually made a difference or if you drove the car differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like shooting. Data on previous engagement, You got to take your previous data and see if you can match it or do better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or if you get worse and you know that was the wrong change, and you
go
change the other way.
So.
Yeah.
So, what was your first event that you won?
Shit.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever?
Well, let's go in the Integra.
And the green car? Shit, we've battled so many fucking problems with that car when we first brought it out. Like, shift box came loose internally, and we didn't know it, and we broke a trans, or rounded a dog gear, every other pass.
Oh, fuck. Jeez.
And then, it was just a learning curve. Once we got the motors to work right in the car, then something happened. Tranny wouldn't stay together in the car, and it was just stupid things,
Damn.
And it's just a learning curve, okay, now we got to make sure everything's tight. Let's Loctite this, Loctite that, because it was tight at one point, you know? And once we got, and then I fucked up the shift cuts on the car before, it would work once and then wouldn't work, and then I just went backwards. Started taking a lot of that out, giving myself more time on the shift cuts, and then everything kind of came together, and the car started being more consistent when I wasn't trying to push it too hard. So with that being said, last year and this year have been our best years with the car. I mean, being able to sit there and go rounds.
And what's your PB in that car so far? Was it 820 or 830?
No, I wish it went 820.
I thought it was 2s or 3s.
I think it's a 40 something.
Oh, is it really?
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a signal on that.
He's like, I don't know. I know my car inside and out. I don't know.
842.
Okay.
So I mean, and there's obviously still stuff left on the table.
Oh yeah.
With that, it's just most of the time when we're going to the tracks, I don't want to test things when I'm at a race. Because it runs consistent, and I just want to make sure that it goes
Damn police department's here.
Right? Kick the fucking door in while we're filming. Jeez, be louder than the people next door, why don't you?
He's still drunk.
He drank a box before he dropped off those two.
You don't look like you got enough meat, though.
Bro, there's
he's not talking about what's in the bag.
And 5 pounds of chicken,
Still
sour cream and salsa. Bro,
don't put that there, dog.
Here's lunch.
And it's brownies.
So, I mean, it's just I got sidetracked. I don't even know where we were.
Your best time.
Oh yeah, we were talking about best
testing at the track.
First event win.
First event win was.
Well,
I don't know if that was last season IFO or the season before that.
Oh really?
I mean, we had one here and there, but being on the consistent streak was last season for sure.
Wow. I didn't think it was that recent.
Because I've battled a lot of shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Like people like, oh, take it easy. Like, trust me, I've been out there and I fucking hadn't won shit for years. Just constant disappointment when the car should work and it doesn't.
Well, that's like Jason's car, Parks' car. That car
They-
should work, and he pushes that car so
They got
damn
a
hard.
good handle on it now, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that car is.
That's what I'm comparing like your car to. It should work, so battling so much issues, it's like, damn.
I mean, I think everything has a little bit of growing pains. He's like, what's up with that car?
Right? What's good with that meat, though?
I think every car, no matter. I mean, some people just. That have cars built for them and it's already been tried and tested and everything that they put on the car
Yeah.
is pretty much what everybody else uses. So it's just like, here's this. Like, I struggled with the car a lot because we did a lot of stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? So when it came to setting anything up, we were doing it ourselves. You know, or asking for help a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And just trying to work with what we had the information of.
So what made you go B series over K series, or?
Like I said, originally when we were running, when I put the car together, I already had a motor sitting for it. I didn't have a turbo kit. I think I bought a turbo off fucking Facebook or Honda Tech or something.
What about now? What continues? Why continue?
Why continue the B?
Because I mean, you see a lot of people now trying to go to the K route.
Well, the K stuff I like for all motor.
Yeah.
Turbo stuff, as far as maintenance and service, I just feel like it's a lot more work out of the box. Like, I can take a stock LS crank, is what we run in the car.
Oh yeah.
Just balance and polish, run it in the car. Where I wouldn't feel as comfortable running like a stock K crank. Because if you look at the bearing width on like a K, even a K20 type S crank, the bearing width isn't very big. So, you don't have a lot of protection there, I guess you say. Like with the LS crank, we run that LS bearings nice and wide.
Yeah.
Has a little bit better distribution for it, for the pressure. So, I mean, I feel like if I was going to do a K, it would start costing more to do like a custom crank every time.
It's definitely
And
more.
all that stuff, it turns into like doing an all motor car. You start getting into the price of building like an all motor engine.
Headache.
Is a little bit different than building a turbo engine.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Because just like the crank for my brother's car, I bought him a crank and it was like, I think even on a deal, it was like $1,200. And then we still gonna get it balanced and checked, you know. But where I can put $100 crank and it'll hold.
You go get a junkyard crank.
It'll hold 1,600 horsepower.
Yeah.
We've seen people do it.
Oh,
I think even Speed Factory still runs a stock LS crank.
I think they do.
And they make a lot of fucking power.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait to see that new car.
when it comes to that and the parts availability.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And since I already have all the B stuff.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering with the whole changes now. You're not seeing B series in the junkyard anymore. You're not seeing B series
Yeah.
because it's becoming an older generation. Now you're
Yeah.
starting to see K everywhere.
Well, Ks are everywhere because they put it in a lot more models.
Yes.
So you get a K motor and a Accord to a CRV.
Oh yeah.
And everywhere in between.
But that's what I wonder though, is where this whole scene is gonna go. You know what I mean? Everybody was B series forever because it was everywhere. Now that K's everywhere, and now that
Honestly,
parts are becoming cheaper.
For a street car, I like the K motor.
Yeah.
They make great power, great torque. Like, even if... how many... Have you driven some K-Series powered cars?
Yeah.
Like, even if you put a stock Type S motor in an EG hatch, like, the motherfucker gets it.
Mm.
Like, I did one, I think, in, like, 06. Did a Type S motor in an EG hatch. Bone stock motor.
Mm-hmm.
Our crew header. Set of 23-inch tires on the car. On a base tune on a K-Pro.
Yeah. Well, look at
And
Max's.
the car went 12-1.
Well, look at Max's CRX. The Pac-Man CRX. Look at that
Yeah.
thing. That thing worked.
Yeah.
That thing worked on the street.
And I'm talking about that was a bone stock Type S motor.
Yeah.
12-1.
Yeah.
And which isn't slow.
No, hell no.
And that thing was bone stock with our crew header.
Yeah.
So.
See, and that's what I wonder. I mean, I've thought about this a while. Where the scene's gonna go with K series wise. because it's not old. It's not new, but it's so new that there hasn't been the trial and error put into the Ks like B series have had for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but with the change of technology and everything, the Ks I feel like have a lot more support.
Think so?
Everybody makes K parts now. You can buy off the shelf rods, pistons, and your cams. Everybody makes a K cam now.
Yeah, but they're all copies of the same one.
Well, everybody has a little bit of different stuff, but like you go look at a B cams. Who makes good B cam? Web, Skunk.
Yeah.
So what, you got like 2 people in blocks that makes the same cam as Skunk?
Crower.
I mean,
the old BC cams were decent.
I've never ran BC cams, so I couldn't say anything about that.
Yeah, they were just decent. They weren't anything
I've always liked the Skunk profiles.
Yeah.
Except I ran the Skunk cams in my car, loved them, but the cam wouldn't stay together.
Well, that's why I still swear to this day, the best B series turbo build is Edelbrock manifold, B16 Type R head, GSR block, 84 mil with a Skunk 2 Tuner 2 cam.
It's a good cam.
It's a great cam.
I've run the Tuner 2s, Pro 1s. I used to put Tuner 2s in everything.
Yeah.
Or the Blocks Bs.
Yeah, but I swear by that cam. I tell everybody.
It's a great
You want a cam? Tuner 2.
That's
a big cam. It's a great cam.
It's actually not that big of a cam.
No.
Like, you can go bigger. Like, the Pro 2s are way bigger. Even the big Pro cams. 1s are pretty aggressive. And I ran the Pro 1s in the Integra before. But we would flatten a cam in fucking 4 passes. So it's like...
So what do you run now?
Webs.
Webs.
After that, this was when I first started with the car. So we were always working out little stuff like... and learn using data. So we would watch oil pressure drop on the launch all the time. So it'd come out of VTAC, the rocker arm would bang the retainer, chip up the retainer, figured out what was causing that, lock VTAC, but now with VTAC being locked, it would eat up the cam faster because it's a lot of spring pressure on one load.
Yeah.
Are you running pins or are you running
Well, no,
rockers?
now I'm on extended pad rockers.
Okay.
But this was in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I loved the Skunk cam worked great.
Yeah.
It just didn't hold up.
No. That's why I say up to, 700-800 horsepower is a great cam.
Some people got them working still to this day. They work on the same set. Yeah. It's just, I don't think they had the material quality, from cam to cam.
Yeah.
And I couldn't keep buying a fucking $600 set of cams to put on the car.
Yeah.
So I bought Webs, haven't had any problems with them.
No,
Love them.
They
work
great
good.
cams.
They work great. And there's no complaints with them.
Yeah.
And I've had the webcams in there for a while. I mean, it's been a while. So.
Cool. I say you sound like you got. Oh, you're.
Well, I was gonna say something. No,
I was just gonna say. So I don't know how much you want to let go of your car, about what's done to it, type thing. But I mean, you're sponsored by Garrett. You're picked up by Nippon and whatever. And I mean, all these. What made you pick those types of companies? I mean, you see a lot of Precision out there. What made you go Garrett over Precision? Or what made you go Webb over Skunk?
When I first went with Garrett, it wasn't mainly a Precision or Garrett thing. It's that one of our buddies was a marketing manager there. He got us in, and this build was never supposed to be expensive. It is now. Just like everybody else.
They never are.
Anything helps. So if somebody's willing to give you 2 turbos for the season, here, use these, run them for the season. Yeah. Your commitment, put a sticker on the car, give us race updates.
Type thing, yeah.
And it works. I mean, I never had a problem with it, Mm-hmm. Granted, you can make more power in a Precision, but the Garretts are workhorses. You could throw a wrench through the motherfucker and probably still work. You know what I mean? So I have had yet to have one failure with the Garrett that wasn't self-inflicted.
Okay.
So I put parts through the exhaust wheel, and the car will still go out there and run, make boost. Or I put a lot of shit through the exhaust wheel that you probably shouldn't. But the nice thing is that when I do stupid shit like that, or I break the motor and I put parts through it, I can go over here and they can take care of it and fix it for me for free.
Yeah.
Which helps on a racer standpoint because then
Oh yeah.
you don't have to go send a turbo on. And Garrett's local. They're down the street from me here.
Yeah.
So if I do have a problem, I just take it there. They take care of it, and I get it back. I don't have to ship it anywhere, and it's free,
Yeah.
which helps.
That's what was nice about back in the day. I mean, there was a lot of people in SAC that were running ATP turbos.
Yeah, because
they were right there in the Bay Area.
Yeah. So if you do have a problem, take it back there. They'll put a wheel in it, rebalance it. Here you go.
Yep. Oh yeah, the local thing is nice. It's
But-
always nice.
and it's
You have a
always
lot of
nice
local
local.
shit out here. I mean, it's,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
tons of
Everything's
local
down
shit out
here,
here, like
you know.
Aries Pistons, and just like that. We've been running Aries for a long time, and they continue to stay and help us with, and continue to support our race programs for both cars. You know, so yeah, everything that we have running on the car is basically because we've tried it.
So you're gonna say that Aries is still a piston to go with now that they are not
CP?
made by Aries anymore?
Well, it's still
Yeah.
Aries brand name under a CP logo.
yeah. It's still
CP's still a good piston. I would run a CP before they even were with Aries.
Yeah.
They all work.
there's been people that have been skeptical about.
I mean, honestly, CPs have always been a different tier than Aries.
Yeah.
Because Aries was more of a homegrown build kind of piston.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we always ran Aries because of David Aris'
Yeah.
machine. He always ran
Well,
Aries.
because
everything.
you get a lot more when you get dealing with smaller businesses. It's easier to get what you want on a custom side,
Oh yeah.
or it's like, oh, can you do this but change this?
Yep.
It's a lot easier for racers too to get a piston that you want made
Oh yeah.
by a smaller company that does good work still.
Yeah.
But it's not like CP where they're busy putting out 1 million pistons a year
Yeah, oh, yeah.
for a whole catalog.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay.
and we just use them forever.
Yeah. So it's a great piston. I've never seen any problems with them.
I won't.
And they're local. They were closer than CP too.
You know,
They
it
used
just,
to be right
it just randomly popped in my head, but you're talking about your nice cars, like a street car, whatever.
Yes.
And I know you don't put the green car on the street.
Yes.
Is there any amount of money that you would put it on the street? Like if someone
Look.
someone was like, hey, I got me versus you, heads up 10 grand.
We were
kinda thing.
gonna try it, and I've driven the car on the street before, but
Yeah.
just never street race the car. The problem is, I just think the car makes too much power for most of the streets we have. Where V8 cars that make
I don't know, Bo. You guys got some roads
not
out
not like that.
I was saying y'all got some
But-
roads.
here.
On the top side of the roads, like the short track.
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But when you're going 185 miles an hour on a fucking back tire that's
Yeah.
this wide, and you're on those fucking streets, like a little fucking bump
Right.
will fuck your shit
I
up.
don't think I would take your car down Speedway.
Not saying that I wouldn't do it. It's just the fact that, do I really
Like, the
want
risk
to
isn't
try
as much as the
taking that?
reward.
I think that if I was going to do a street car like that, I would put it on a smaller turbo, make it more efficient, have a better power band to play with for what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that
that's like you said with the new car. It's gonna work for the street better.
I think that if you took an 800 horsepower Honda on the street and you got it to work, would work better than a 1200 horsepower Honda on the street. Because I can guarantee you, unless you get that car calmed down enough, still in third and fourth gear, just like at Reading. How loose was the car at Reading?
Oh shit.
Oh, fucking nasty up there.
And you know, and they prep it. You
Yeah,
take that
that's
on
true.
the street out
Oh,
here and
yeah.
you try to lay that much power down,
Oh.
it's
Well,
not
that's-
going to like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's true.
That's why you watch all the TV shows and all the YouTube channels and all that stuff, and you listen to every single one of them. I had to take out so much power to make this car work.
And that's the problem. It's like with those bigger frame turbos, you take too much power out of them, they don't like it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they want
They
boost,
want to
yeah.
be in power. So
Yeah.
like as soon as you cut too much out of it, they turn into a dog. Like if I was gonna street race a car, I'd take that 35R that makes 900, put it on the car. I already have a tune-up for it,
Yeah.
and go race it like that.
So you went over to mechanical fuel pump now, right?
No,
You're still not mechanical.
Still
Will
not.
you ever go mechanical?
I have everything here for it.
Will you go mechanical? Because you have everything
No,
here
no.
for everything. So
I said you could build like 4 fucking cars with all the motors I heard that are laying over there.
I thought about it and I was going to, and then I just haven't got around to it because I have to move a lot of shit to do it. Like right now, the car fuel tank's still in the back. everything's plumb for that.
Speaking
and
of
then
fuel tank, you get that thing fixed
Oh,
yet?
yeah. So if I were to have a battery location fuel cell,
Yeah.
no. Well, I have one in the back over here. It's not in the car. So if I do that, then I have to move the breather, and then I have to move some of my wiring harness stuff out of the way because it's right in the way of where. Because everything, I have 3 connectors going through my firewall.
Yeah.
On that side, like right there. So the fuel cell gets in the way of that.
Yeah. And
So-
also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it because it's working. So.
No, I know. And I've been so busy doing other shit.
No, I was just curious because you see a lot of people. Well, that's the new thing now. Everybody wants mechanical fuel.
Well, the thing is, if I'm not going to put the car in the dyno and retune it right away, then what's the fucking point of doing it? Because you're going to want to make sure that people throw things on without understanding that it changes the dynamic of everything.
Oh, yeah.
From the way the car starts and runs, if it doesn't hold constant pressure to here because it's belt driven or cam driven, however you want to call it.
Gear driven or belt
It's
driven.
driven to a point where it's going to build up to a pressure, not hold a pressure and then use a regulator to adjust that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know enough about that. Not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just I was into it and just haven't got around to it.
Gotcha. No, I was just curious. Just because your car is one of the top ones around here, so that's the new thing. So I just didn't know if you had went with it yet, or I mean, so many people are pushing it now. I mean, there's a lot of people pushing it now.
Well, plus it takes a load off the electrical system, which is nice too.
But you're 16 volt?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, even then, it's still like those pumps draw a decent amount. You know? You draw in the pump, electric water pump, fans, and whatever else you have going on.
Yeah.
It draws a decent amount of power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I planned on doing it. I haven't got around to doing it yet because it's not a big priority for me.
Yeah. I mean, you got 90 other projects around here, so.
And I was at the lake all summer since we were no racing due to COVID.
Right.
So, spent more time doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you wanted to film an episode in the boat.
Yeah, I'm in the boat right now.
Yeah, we're about to go there right now.
It's warm enough today.
Right?
Hey, you said you've been, been back for about 8 years.
I believe so.
What keeps you motivated? Especially like fighting the trials and tribulations that you have. You know what I mean?
Well, when I first got back into it, people were like, why are you building a front-wheel drive car? Because I have my Nova and everything too. And it's like, I like something that's challenging most of the time, you know? And now, it's still challenging just to make a car go down. A track front-wheel drive is not, it's not the easiest thing to control for people. A lot of people, once you get the setup, it works good. But it's building up to that. Like, I ran an 8-second pass, like 890, then a year of 9.0s. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like finding that good ground where everything wants to work together. And I think that's fun, is just trying to troubleshoot something, you know? Like when you see a problem and you try to solve it.
Yeah. What's the best track you've been to?
Ooh, Washington.
Really?
I love it. It's a nice track. Everybody's friendly up there, and the track's beautiful. Well, and Pomona's, I love that track too, but we don't really get to race there much. So for a track we could go to, probably Washington, I like a lot. From the tracks I've been to.
Yeah, I haven't been up there yet. We were talking about going.
We were supposed to do Sacramento, Oregon, Washington, but Oregon and Washington got canceled because Sacramento was Saturday, Oregon was Sunday, so we were just going to go from Sacramento to Oregon. And then I was going to stay up at Speed Factory for a week, or at my buddies that work there, leave the car out there and just kind of like fuck around for a week and then race at Washington and then come back, but the shit got canceled.
Yeah.
Well, you got next year.
Hopefully.
Well,
Hopefully, let's hope so. I mean, because in like 7 hours we have curfew, just to let you know that.
I don't know if they enforce that over here.
they do.
Yeah.
I don't think
Enforced? Yeah, I don't know on that one.
the cops don't even enforce anything
So-
over here.
I'm just going down my list here, asking
Go for
questions.
it.
If you want, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I always got something, but go ahead.
This is something that we both talked about. We want to talk to you about. What's it going to take to get your ass to World Cup finals?
Okay, so hold on. Before you answer that, we actually talked about this on the way down here. I actually put up the idea that I said, hey, what would you feel if All Gas Podcast sponsored getting one of the fucking fats out there?
What
I know we had talked about it
for me,
last
there
year.
was multiple things that would push me to do it or to go. The car would have to run a 30 because also it's not any fucking good unless you're running at least. I mean, granted, we've been 40s out here, but I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
You know? So finding a little bit better area with the car, and then just getting a little bit of help getting there and back, obviously.
Well, and that's why that's why I made that statement of what if we...
Because if you think about it...
I got a driver. He'll drive anywhere, anytime. If you want to just sit in the truck, he'll drive.
It ends up being, without doing parts, it ends up costing like $3,000.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Because I got to make sure that, because I don't have a job where if I'm not at work, if I'm not at the shop, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
So I don't get...
That's why the week before you're busting ass, pulling more hours than before.
So, and even then, it's just like, it's hard because I have to take a week unpaid to go do it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fuel's not the worst, but it's probably about $1,000.
You ever thought about doing it the other way, where you let somebody else drive and then you fly out for the night or the day before, day of type thing?
If anything, I would just, because I usually have all my stuff. Like, I'm like pretty much.
Well, I'm just saying, just not to lose.
Stick me and Guts in the truck.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
Fly out there.
That's what I'm saying.
I know Guts would be down for that.
You only lose like maybe 2 days each way, you know.
Yeah.
So, but.
No, I'm just saying for work purposes.
Well, even at that point, you look at it that way. How much is a flight there and back?
Sometimes cheap.
Well, sometimes, but let's call it a spade. Probably normally $500 round trip. So that eats into more money.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking the time off.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like a balancing act. You know. It's got to get there anyways.
Well, by the look of this place, you make more than $500 a week. No. So if you take the week off.
Well, a lot of shit that I have is years of abuse.
Yeah.
You could sell that gearbox and pay for the whole trip.
Right.
It's like what earlier.
So,
but do you see yourself one day going out
I
there?
would like to. And people are like, well, why don't you just go check it out? And I'm like, I can't go to a track like that
and
not take a car.
Yeah, of course.
That's like I went to Glamis once. This is when I used to go a lot. And it had rained the week before that. So you're like, oh, the sand's going to be fucked up. Just drove out there just because everybody's family's out there hanging out. I'm like, look, I'll just drive out there, hang out, come back. Get there, and it's fucking perfect. And you're just like, you fucking asshole. You should have just fucking loaded this shit up and brought it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like that for me. Like, if I go somewhere like that, and it's like, I should have just... I'm not going to go just visit it. I'll just load the fucking shit up and let's go. If I'm going to spend the time and the money to go there already. You know?
No,
so,
I get it.
So you got to go 820s, 830s roughly. We need to get you a GoFundMe set up. All Gas Podcast sponsorship.
The nice thing is...
And you're driving.
The nice thing is, like, when we went to Washington, like, Nippon helped out with gas for that. Which is awesome because he's a great guy. He tries to help out whenever he can. Which I dig because, ultimately it helps me. I'm just a mechanic by trade, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, like, people like, I don't have an extravagant job where I make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you know?
Oh, for real? You didn't? I thought everybody went
that's
$800.
what I mean.
You're not like Ostrom?
No. I was from school as fuck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Never got too much damn money.
But... Like, you see what I drive? I drive a 99 Toyota Tacoma pickup truck as my daily driver.
Must be nice. I drive a bucket-ass Fit.
and a BMW that don't run.
BMW run.
Who's cut at 85 miles an hour?
Hey, don't do that no more. That was blowing off pipes. It's good now. Whatever, slow-ass H-Series.
Like,
he won't line it up, though.
I will. Let's go. Let's go, $100.
Let's
go, $100.
People always say, like, oh, you gotta be a baller, and it's like, no. I just don't live outside my means.
Oh yeah,
that's like you said.
You look like at my truck and trailer. My trailer I got from somebody that owed me money. My truck's paid off. I paid $7,000 for it.
That's like we were talking about everything you have in here. You traded this for this, or
free
did this for that, or
found the Harley, like.
Well, that was.
Are you really?
No,
did
no,
fine
it
art?
did
No, I
You
know.
did fine art.
But that was because I think that guy got
Yeah.
jammed up or something.
Yeah.
But, either
But
way.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not like you went out and bought every single thing in here for,
No, yeah.
you know, retail.
Well,
you,
and that's another thing. I don't pay retail for anything.
yeah.
It's about. I've been in the industry so long. I can call a place and be like, "Yo, Aries." Even before when I first started bringing the car back out, I hit up Aries and I'm like, "Yo, I need a set of pistons. Can you take care of me?" They're like, "Yeah, here you go." It's because we've had a working relationship
Yeah.
before that,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and it's just like
And that's one of the things like I talk to him about a lot. And I'm like, he's like, how do you know that? Like we'll go places and when we first started hanging out, I'd be like, how the fuck do you know him? I'm like, I just meet people. I talk to people. I might be a fucking asshole, but I still try to talk to every person that I can talk to.
It's the same thing. We both are kind of people like, you go to a car show, you go to the track, whatever, and you walk up and randomly we'll just start talking to people.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, and just start talking, and that's how you kind of, you go to a
Well, it's
booth
like-
and you start talking to them about
Yeah.
whatever they have.
Well, it's like
there,
you guys
know?
and the Roaches. Like, I didn't know you guys previous to the track, and then all of a sudden, fuck, we just started talking, and
yeah.
you know, I don't give a shit.
So,
And then, yeah, I mean, we see you track, come eat, hang out in the pit. I'm like, I was just coming to say what's up.
have a beer.
Yeah,
Hang out.
that was when we took my car down
Yeah.
there, seeing them down there, like, hey, get over here, come say what's
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? It was all love.
I mean, that's what racing should be, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, racing's always going to be a knit group of people that, even if some don't get along, most of them do, or they're friendly with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a homosexual way, but like, or maybe if
What
you
the
like
fuck?
that.
Which,
But they're a tight knit group.
you notice he's the only one drinking on the podcast.
Him and his trannies.
You and your
Yeah, I got trannies over there. We lost transmission fluid. Something happened. It's slippery over there, though. But I mean, if you go to the track and you can't have a good time, then you probably shouldn't.
No,
go.
hell no.
What's up, man? You okay? But it's also like you're never gonna move forward as a sport if you don't have people that enjoy being there too.
Yeah.
So that's like with Mason when I first. You're not eating the carne asada, bro. When I first met Mason, and he needed something for the car, I told him if I have it, I'll take. Stay out of the meat, bro.
Stop meat in the fridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you fucking did that.
Because he's drunk and all he wanted was the beer out of the fridge.
Yeah, no shit. I'm like, just come grab whatever. And like Guts, when I first met him,
Mm-hmm.
he was racing at Brona on a street tire. I didn't even know that he had a slick for the car, so I gave him a set of drag radials that I had here. And it's just like, you gotta, like, I try to help out when I can, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not out there just like, here, who wants a free fully
Well,
built
yeah.
motor or nothing, but it's like, I have old tires that have like 10 passes on them, 15 passes, and like, here, instead of selling them, I'll just give them to somebody that needs
Needs
them.
them. Well, yeah, it progresses your industry, your sport. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have helped you along the way, so you're
Yeah.
helping them along the way.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a give and take. It's always like that.
Yeah.
It needs to be like that, at least.
Everybody has to do their part almost.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
know?
get it. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone has to make
Yeah.
money. It's life. But if you have the opportunity to help, you should help.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I said, like the last couple times we've been to the track and, you know, with the podcast growing, you know, getting to meet a lot more people, it's really dope. You know, like IFL Bakersfield in February. That was one of the most fun times I've ever had track, hanging out with you guys. And you see Rob Easy and, you know, Galvin over there in their corner. And then
Yeah.
Aaron came down with Josh, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's FatKid guys. Then, you know, talking to, you know, like Chad and talking to Parks and talking to everyone else. And walking up saying what's up to everybody. Like, and everybody's like all good to go. And,
You know what was a fun event? Was the DRN race that they did, the East vs West race. I don't know if you made it out to that
the one that it rained at?
Yes.
Yeah, I was there.
So the first day was a fucking shit.
Saturday was all raining.
Oh, it was raining. We were fucking riding pit bikes around. Everybody was drinking.
drunk as fuck.
We were drinking
Shout out my boy
fucking
Biggie. The
Hennessy.
fool got me hella drunk.
We were drinking Hennessy with the promoters. You had Champlain in a fucking stroller. Like,
That shit was funny.
this motherfucker is straight hammered.
There was a
Just
fucking
in
dance
a
off.
stroller.
There was drunk ass dance off and shit. It was.
It
funny.
was a fucking good time where everybody could just let loose at the track. people from both sides of the country there, and just hanging out.
Yep.
It was.
That's what I was
It's a
looking
good
to.
time.
I was looking forward to this year because they were going to do it again. Well, they were going to bring a lot of people over here, but not.
But the rain out being the funner part of it.
Yeah.
Then the actual racing is just getting it able to fucking hang out with them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even just getting the people together, it's fun.
Yeah.
Because you have these people that you talk to on the phone or, internet or social media or whatever. You don't have the opportunity to actually hang out with them and have a good time. So
Yeah.
even if you have the race day, it's
Well,
still...
everybody that's racing is mostly busy handling their race program. Even if they're just doing something small, it's just like, oh shit, what? I forgot to put fuel in because we're bullshitting,
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's fun times.
so that was a fun event just because you got everybody that were able to hang out stress free.
Yeah.
Because usually when everybody's at the track, you go talk to anybody that's super competitive and they got stuff going on where they're trying to fix something in between rounds. Because I don't know how many times people have came to my trailer like, do you have this? Do you have this?
Oh, yeah.
And I try to keep like stuff like, just in case I need it too, I try to keep like prepared.
That's how we are
Like,
with
do you
his
have an OG
program.
sensor? I'm like, yes. I have
I
a
mean-
box of T-bolt clamps.
He don't get that crazy, but I mean that's what we try to do.
We try to come. I try to come prepared.
I just didn't have quick steel the other day. Thank you.
Yo,
Who's got a quarter? Who's got
hey,
glue?
you know what's funny, randomly? Why do I have this quarter? I threw this at you earlier. No, when what did that dude tell us? Oh, I got $10,000 under my hood. We were we left the hotel and went across to the AutoZone right there. Remember the little kid? So we were trying to figure out which one, and we're on the phone with Mason, and we're trying to figure it out, which one,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And then, so he's like, oh, y'all going to the racetrack? We're like, yeah, our buddies are over there, and the fucking fuel cell cracked or whatever. So he's like, oh, yeah, that's my drift car over there. I got $10,000 under the hood. Stock-ass 350Z on replica rims. I'm like, bro, really?
Well, he had to put a new stock motor in it because he blew it up drifting.
That was the 10 grand.
Yeah.
for the stock motor.
And he had to put a new clutch in there because that was bad.
Them cues ain't cheap.
Fuck. Yeah, no, that was funny. That was. But we try to come prepared. I try to bring like shit like that, or like extra axles. Extra
Yeah.
nuts and bolts and stuff. Because who was it that needed a fucking certain bolt or nut last event or something? Someone was looking for certain bolts, and I go, that's why. I think
I
it
don't
was.
I was like, man,
Chris-
you needed
Chris-
a diff.
No, it was Chris Stars' car for the shifter.
Oh, that's right.
They
yeah,
need like a 12 bolt, and usually what I do is I'll just grab a whole bunch of shitload of bolts and just
Yeah.
fucking throw them in the
I
toolbox.
have
and just,
a bolt bin on the bottom of one of my carts in the trailer.
That's what I have. I have the little handle like suitcase that has little individual things in it. 10s, 12s, 14s. That's how
Yeah, I
was
have
doing
like that for new hardware.
it. Yeah.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It's probably over there somewhere.
Well, that's what's cool. I got a buddy that'll do new zinking. So you'll go buy old bolts,
Oh, and
take a
he'll
5-gallon bucket of them, and he just blasts them all and then rezinks them.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it's cheap.
That's cool.
It's cheap.
I might have to send you some.
I got about 10 gallons.
Yeah. He's
Can
got
we,
a
Can we zinc some stock gears, dude? Just be
probably.
cool.
Probably. He's got 2 Type R's, like real Type R's, and he wanted to rezinc all the bolts so everything was new. That's what he ended up doing. Went to pick and pull, just pulled a whole 5-gallon bucket of bolts
Yeah.
and just rezinced everything. It's pretty cool.
Being that you've been in the game for a long time, I'm talking about prepared and stuff. What's some advice you would give young or new racers? We try to ask these people that way we can, because remember this show is about teaching and helping.
No,
people.
I get
So
you.
what's something that you can give to someone new, someone who might be down on the luck right now, and like something keys, a little bit of game. Give a secret away.
Even when it's hard in ship race, you just got to keep your head up. Like Mason's a good sport with that,
That's an understatement.
But it's just patience. It's not gonna happen overnight. You know.
That's a good one.
Because
Because there's a lot of people that are that way that think they can
I
get frustrated by not going 9s in a year. Like,
mean, I've been there,
Yeah,
and
well,
so I know
everyone
the
has.
struggle when people are like, "Man, I just want to get that monkey off my back." It's like I've been an 8 before, and then didn't run another 8 for a year. You know
That's
how
frustrating.
how frustrating that is.
that's.
Yeah.
I want to go 8s. I want to go 8s. I want to go 8s.
That's kinda like-
1-8. Never again.
No more.
That's kind of like
No soup for you.
I honestly, I feel the monkey of like, cause I've been to 5 podiums,
Yeah.
second and third. I haven't got it first.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the monkey that's on my back where I'm just like, and that's what keeps me motivated. It's like I want to race in that because I love sport and everything, but also it's like I
You
need that.
want to win.
Even if I just get one, I just
You know what's
need that
frustrating
fucking
though?
one.
I wish you could get a 1 in the setup you have now, just so you could say,
No, you-
I have podiums in that setup.
No, you can
Oh, we
do
can.
it. You
I'm just saying.
We can't.
You just have to, at the end of the day, is going to events. Like, a lot of people will be like,
No, I agree with what you're saying.
a lot of people will say, like, oh, well, that's cool, but, like, you got to put in the time also, you know?
Well, that's like, 2019.
And the only way it's going to get better is by trying it.
Oh yeah.
And, like, trying different tire pressures. Okay, the car works better
Well,
with this.
that's kind of our program over the last 2 years.
Well, that's like, I was going to the tracks. I probably went about 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 times without him as a crew chief.
Yeah.
And then one day we were talking, and I was like, "Yo, why don't you just come help me with the track?" And he goes, I had a fight with him. We don't like each other anyways, but he finally
Does
did.
happen.
And that day was just bam, 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 bam. And I was like setting tire pressure like at 14, like 15 pounds. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And so we ended up dropping it down.
Yeah.
Figuring it out, and then just going with that, and just I started hitting every event I could, which was Sacramento, close to me. And then I was like, okay, at that time I was like, okay, I want to go to one event out of town this year.
Yeah, we ended up going to every event.
That's why I went to Fontana.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going to all events in Sacramento. And then the next year was like, okay, well,
LA.
I want to go more,
Yeah.
but then COVID hit, of course, and all
Yeah.
this bullshit. So, but like I do understand, like. Because people even sometimes like people that aren't necessarily like I'm nowhere near your level, no near your brother's level. I'm like down here, but it takes a long time to get to this level where people don't understand how long it goes.
I mean, some people can. It just depends how much money you want to spend at the end of the day, because you can pay somebody to do everything for you, where you can just hop in a car and go, and it comes back to when I used to race mini bikes with these guys in this old Mamlon. So I have a mini bike too, but it's dangerous.
On a mini bike?
Bro, trust me. I almost killed myself on it at SAT. It made like 23 horsepower, I think.
Wow.
Methanol, like one of those little 6.5 horsepower motors. We went up to SAC. This is probably like before I even built another car. I went up there because someone was racing and I was dipping it down, and you know where it goes down in the back right there? Fucking thing hung the fucking tire, and I drug me behind it like this. Racked my balls on the seat, all that shit. I'm like, my buddy thought I was gonna fucking die.
Jeez.
And the guy that we used to go watch like mini drag bikes and all that shit, he's like, you're only as fast as your money.
Oh yeah.
So
That's true. But at the same time,
you can also build up to that where you don't have to spend the money.
well, not just
But
that. We were talking
it
about this in the
takes
last
longer.
episode. Andre said this, and it's true. You could throw the biggest, best, and everything you want at something, and it's not going to guaranteed to work. So it doesn't matter how much money you have.
But if you go with like look at Ig, he tunes a lot of front wheel drive cars.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah,
And he's good.
yeah.
You can go have him build a car, tune it, and you know that car's gonna run fast. At least towards the front of the pack.
No, that's true. But also, what you're forgetting about that statement is what you just said before that he tunes a lot of cars. Whereas you take someone like I've never tuned a car, so it takes me the learning process to do
No, well,
that.
that's
you know
where
what I mean?
that spending money, if you wanted to spend that money, comes
Yeah, but
into
I'm,
effect.
Yeah,
but I'm
well,
saying,
that's
but,
true, but-
it's not all 100% true though, because you say,
If you deal
"Hey,
with
build the
right
car."
people-
You throw me in that car. I've never driven the car. It's gonna go fucking 10s. You throw
Nah,
you that drives every day. It's gonna go 8s.
Not necessarily, because I feel like people that don't drive every day don't have bad habits. That's the hardest
I've
thing to
seen
get
some
rid
people.
of.
I've seen some people get into cars and they can't drive worth a
Look,
fuck.
you look at like
Red lit every fucking pass.
you look at like the guy that used to have Andre's car before him, Conley.
Yeah,
They put him in the car, he drives.
yeah.
Just like there's a lot of people that can just hop in cars and they don't have that bad habit
Yeah.
of like.
But I'm just saying, there's some that have no idea what the hell they're doing. So it doesn't matter how much money you put into something.
You have to have a little bit of idea of what
Yeah,
you're
no,
doing, you
I
know?
think you're taking a little too down. Whereas I get what you're saying.
I just feel that
That goes back to the seat time part.
if
Like,
you
that-
have
that's
somebody
part of it.
that can take something that somebody says and put it into effect. Like, I just want you to go in the car, full throttle, lift off the clutch, don't touch the clutch again, and just bang your front and back. If you get somebody that can do that and go down the track, and they have somebody that set up the car and everything, like look at that car that Sean Ramy did, that EK Coupe, that ran at the Derby.
You want an example of what this is real
The
quick? I'll give you a good example of my
That car
point.
just went like what I think 830s, 820s, brand new build, 3 passes.
I'll give you a good example of my point. Look at Cole's car. Cole went, what, 8 O's? 8 2s? The Civic?
8-1. Yeah.
8-1. Sold it. That car had never seen an 8 for 2 years after that.
Yeah, but I know who owns it, and I know that he is learning it himself.
But that's what I'm saying, is it's, you can't just...
Let's play it this way.
But he didn't.
What's the best time this car's done? What's the best time this car's done?
I don't know.
It's like
9:30.
9:30, right? Let's say
9:30.
Let's say it's like 9:30. Do you think I have a lot of experience driving a car? There's no way I could jump in this car.
I
with
think
it.
you could jump in and drive it.
I can drive it, but do you think I'm gonna crack off a 940 pass?
It
off
depends.
The first,
Well, motor cars, you have to drive them like you stole them.
well, I drive mine like I stole them. That's what I'm saying.
Everything.
The
No,
driving is
yeah, you
different.
should be good.
I guarantee
Now,
he couldn't get that car to go over or under a 990.
Well, not right now. That shit don't.
No, even in its peak, I guarantee he wouldn't go over 990.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
No,
I think
Why?
he might be able
No.
to do it.
because you're not used to the car. You're not used to
Maybe-
anything about that car.
maybe
no,
like
no, do you
3
mean in,
passes
do you mean
in.
in time, or you just
No,
say
right off the
three,
bat.
3 pieces? Oh, off the bat. That's what I'm
One
saying.
one event.
That's what I'm saying.
One
You
event.
can't do that. I'm a good driver, but I
look,
can't.
I'll tell you one thing. If you can drive, I can guarantee pretty much anything. Like my buddy, we built him a car. First 3 passes, that car would have cracked 8. And that's when I was still fighting with my car, and his car went faster on a 67 border.
Mm-hmm.
But it went 570 to the 8th, doing licensing passes.
Mm-hmm.
570 to the 8th
That's
is fucking moving.
Yeah.
So I'm like, or it went, I think went 570 or 580 to the 8th in testing at like 135. When because for licensing you have to make 2 half-track passes.
Yeah.
And the car went like 920, letting off the half-track.
I'm saying I've seen people spend big money on cars
That's a low set.
and
low A
can't
pass.
drive.
No, it was like, it went like 880. Yeah, but there's a difference. If
And
you
then
can
I've
drive
seen
a little
people.
bit,
I've seen people build like the build that I said earlier with the Edelbrock and that shit, and
Go
drive
fast.
around that fucking car.
but then again, it comes to who's doing the work on the car.
Yeah,
Like, that's why I say with Abe,
There's
Abe's
too many
really
factors.
good.
there is. There's
Too many
way
factors.
too many factors.
Abe's
in
a
it.
really good tuner,
Yeah.
and he could set up a car where, like, if anybody that can drive decent hops in it, the car should run fast.
Yeah.
You know? With a, like, here you go. Like, look at Stephen Ali's car, it's fucking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went 816,
Yeah.
and that motherfucker was, dude, like
going
on a rail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like on a rail. It's fucking
He's
dope.
going to
car is fast.
OSW
Yeah.
next week or whatever it is.
We were gonna go down there, but just because my buddy that lives down there, he's like, come through, and I'm like, I wanted to go, but it just then it comes to the wanting and being able to do it comfortably are 2 different things.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go to Arizona with you guys.
Yeah. Well, that one would have been not very expensive to go.
Yeah, but for me,
But were we thinking about doing Ennis, which is only a 20-hour drive,
that's Texas, right?
same weekend?
Only.
Well, it's better than a fucking 36-hour drive, I can tell you that.
Not for me. I fucking hate anything over
The-
2
my buddy-
hours. I'm
my
done.
buddy Mike drives. So, like, when we went to Washington, I think I drove for an hour.
Yeah.
And he drove, we left here after I got off work on Friday, got here, we all met up here, took off from here, and went straight to Washington.
My problem is not the driving. I have ADD like a motherfucker, and I hate sitting still. Hate it. If I'm not working on something or touch something, I fuck want nothing to do
No
with
wonder
it.
why you were jerking off in the back of the car when I seen the video.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
I'm
this
sitting here
fool-
tapping
hey,
my bottle right now.
You
Like,
know what he does? He did it this morning. He'll sit there, he'll be on his phone, right? Put it down. And then he puts it down. And then he'll say something. Then
I can't sit
I'm
still.
like-
That's why I like cars. I sit here, I'll wrench on fucking anything.
Nah,
And people were like, "Why do you like working on everybody's car?" I'm like, "I don't. I hate working on people's cars,
it's just something.
but it's
to do.
something to do. Keeps me busy. That's why I build so many cars. Everyone's like, finish something, get something done, drive something. Like, dude, I just want to build.
this fool gets 90% of his cars done and fucking sells them.
I just want to build. That's all I want to do.
I got 3K on the diesel truck.
Yeah, I'll sell you the motor.
I might need one.
I'm not towing that shit down here. I'm just let you know, you gotta come pick that shit up. Because when we went to go pick that motherfucker up, my trailer was doing this.
Dude.
It was nuts.
He almost dropped the motor off the back. When we were coming through the country, we lost what? The fucking tranny lines, some bolts, some other shit.
Some wooden blocks that were holding it. We lost some shit. It was a fucking time.
Oh my.
And it was strapped down.
It's a heavy bitch.
Yeah.
They're heavy.
What's your favorite build? Because you obviously know a lot about everyone's car's been around a long time.
Not what you. I mean, even if it is what you own, but just any build ever build.
There's so many good builds. So many. It depends, like what kind of build you're.
Whatever you want.
Whatever, no matter.
Show car, race car, whatever you
Bicycle, mini bike. I don't care.
It's so hard. There's been so many cool cars that have been done that it's hard to put like a finger on one of them. I mean, it would be like if you're talking about Honda stuff, there's tons of like good looking Hondas that were done, you know? Especially like one of my favorites, and was my buddy's show car. He had a Brandywine Candy EK, snow leopard interior. But this was like probably
early 2000s.
Early, like I'm talking about the car was at shows in like 2001.
Oh yeah. No, that was your shit.
But
then.
if you looked at the car, like I don't know
did it have Z3 fenders?
No.
Damn it.
Do you remember Nisei Week?
Yeah.
The car show stuff?
Yeah.
So he was the first one to win Nisei with stock body.
Oh, wow.
So, like, back when people were still doing, like, all the body kits,
Yeah.
he was a stock-bodied car. The bay was super clean. This is, like, one of the first tucked cars.
I almost bought a body kit 2 months ago. I see it in a pickup pull. It was a Tsunami kit on an EK. I almost bought it just to hang it in the garage.
So, this was... And I'll find you a picture of the car right now. Just so
just send it to us.
Just send it to us, and then
we try to upload in the episodes like...
And it was probably one of the cleanest builds, and I was very young at the time, or younger at the time. And it was definitely before 9/11, because I remember him shooting photos when he was in New York visiting.
Oh, cool.
So it was... I don't know if you ever followed the guys from AM7.
I don't think so.
They're like a car crew / tag crew. It was his car, and like I said, it was just brake tuck before brake tuck was popular. Wire tuck, like he went at it with the hot rod philosophy.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know about that. Like,
and
when people are like, oh, shave bays, tuck bays, you're like, dude, hot rods have been doing that forever.
And he always said that, like, I wasn't the first one to do it. VA guys have been doing it for years.
Yep.
But
forever.
When you saw the car, it just like it looked so good.
Yeah.
For being an import. Like the battery was still in the stock location, but the power were going down the back side of the battery.
That's so one thing. I don't know if you know who RC Garage is, Randy.
Yeah, no, I know.
So that's what I always talk about his cars. Like anytime anybody ever talks about a show car, I talk about his cars because he does it like that.
He does really nice
goes
builds.
through and looks at things, and he looks at them different than everybody else.
Me and RC are cool, and he does really nice cars. The only reason I'm choosing this car is because...
Oh, no.
Like, it was one of the first cars that I'd seen that was done.
Yeah, no. I'm not, like, saying that. I'm just saying that that's the type, like, that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like,
he does
holy shit, like, whoa, this has got a waterfall in the trunk.
He does very nice, like, subtle builds that are very, very clean.
Yes.
Like, and everything's, like, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be the similar car to
just
that.
Then.
But done in 01.
Yeah.
Or 2000.
Yeah. That's cool. No, that's the type of show cars I like. I don't like the crazy fucking lights everywhere and waterfalls in the trunks and...
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've seen a lot of those since like 2010, maybe.
There was a BMW
that was built dog.
There was a BMW that was built last year that was at Race Wars.
We're talking about Hondas, though.
Anyways, it was at Race Wars, and he had a waterfall in the trunk. 2 years ago.
Which one was that?
I don't know. It was a Race Wars.
It depends how hot it was. I'd probably go sit in there if it got that
He
hot.
actually went to the San Jose show.
Fest?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the same show? The show where they accept all the same people?
Yeah.
Every year?
Yeah.
And all the same people?
Yeah, the ATS Garage Show. That's what I call it.
That's rigged fucking.
They're the ones that always win.
That's one year I seen two 240s parked next to each other. And the next year, all they did was fucking switch rims. I literally went back and looked at the picture and go, all these motherfuckers did was switch rims.
Yeah.
They literally swapped rims and got in. I mean, there's no problem with that. Like, it is what it is, but I'm just like...
Okay. So this was the car, but he had done green wheels on. This was way after the fact, but like you can see in the bay, like just
Oh yeah.
how nicely everything was done. Like fuel feed on the same sideline.
See, that's the type of stuff.
Send that to me too.
When I was
Yeah,
doing my
I will.
CRX,
Podcast.
that's what I was doing to my CRX. Like I did simple and just stuff that no one else had seen. Like I welded plates in the back of the shock tower of the CRX where there is nothing. So you couldn't see it. So the shock tower continued to the firewall, and I made a custom fucking Raiders report. That CRX was crazy. There was something that hadn't been done yet.
Hey, you want to know where that CRX is now?
With Xerox.
My
The
old
one that
CRX.
he's just talking about? Where you did the custom radius?
Pick and
support,
pull.
custom- It's probably fucking...
Oh, it's crushed.
It's probably your fucking...
It's probably right
it's probably
there.
your fucking right there.
Well, no, it's probably in China because that's where we send all our material to
Yeah.
anyways.
No, that shit went straight to pick and pull. I got screwed on a roof, and I said, fuck this car.
So,
But,
yeah, I think that's
That one?
one of the cool cars. You know?
yeah.
There's been a lot of nice Honda builds. You know, what one of my favorite drag cars was back in the day was Lakovsky CRX and Parks' Integra when he had the America Wholesale Financial or whatever on the side of it. I don't, or whatever that company was.
Yeah.
With like the space, the jet fighter like
Yeah.
livery on it with like the suede headliner. That car is fucking nice too. For drag cars.
He built some nice cars.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. He built some nice drag cars. Is
What's something you don't like about the scene?
there anything you would change?
About the Honda scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Drag
racing scene, kind
racing.
of, you know, what we're in.
I just feel like we get a lot of bad publicity from like the slideshows and stuff like that have nothing to do with what we do. And I think that when people see like street racing on the news, it's like, oh, like, are
Well,
you a street racer?
that's what
Do you
happened the other
street
day.
race?
There's a news social media by us,
They always fucking lie.
and they posted something about a sideshow, and I seen him comment on it, and I was like, was that really actually a sideshow, or was it a drag race? Because they do that. They'll
Yeah.
name them all the same.
They'll say it'll be a sideshow, and they'll be like, "Oh, they were street racing."
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
when it's street racing, they'll be like, "Oh, it's a sideshow," or like even like the car meets and shit. They're like, "Oh, it's a sideshow." It's like, no, you guys ruined the car meet. All you guys did was harass people,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't trust the media because they be
No,
lying
no,
about
for
shit like
sure.
that. But they give us a bad rap because
They
the
give
police.
everybody a bad rap.
Yeah.
And it's just not just that, it's you got these fucking idiots that like go to car meets. Like I don't mind going to car meets. It's like you go to Cars and Coffee, you don't see cops busting their balls because you don't got people being fucking stupid.
No,
Except for Mustangs.
they hang out,
Oh, sometimes.
look at the cars, go
Really?
home.
Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest problem with our scene is that we get misportrayed a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was the same thing with the Bodie event. There was a lot of people who were like, "Why are Hondas here? What are they from?
Yeah.
These things are just gonna break and put oil all over the track."
Some did break though.
Well, no.
Some did put oil
Yeah,
on the track.
but
I'm
like we
just
talked
saying.
in the last episode, but it wasn't as bad, and it was
No.
actually pretty good. We got kind of lucky with not oiling down the lanes.
Yeah.
And then you show up, fucking crack up, and
everyone's like,
everyone's like, "Whoa, what
shit."
the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then Matt runs his 8, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And then Mason blows the fuck up, and everyone's like, "Oh, yep, Honda."
It's like when we went to Tucson the weekend after that, or 2 weekends after that. We get there, fucking somebody oiled the fucking track. They tried cleaning the track for fucking 4 hours.
Fuck.
They couldn't finish. They couldn't get the oil out of the track. They tried burning it out, cleaning it, everything. Couldn't get it out of the track. They said they're gonna have to scrape the track
Yeah.
and then re-burn it out and then relay fucking VHT on it.
Fuck.
They spent like $4,000 trying to get the track prepped back right. Because Cliff isn't afraid to spend money.
Oh, hell
Yeah,
no.
no.
He wants it to be safe. So we ended up running single lane, ET only. No reaction time. To finish the race, or 8th mile no prep. On the back side of the track.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'll just do the single lane.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather know what the car runs.
Well, yeah, you're going to be an ET. That's how you win anyways.
And so they ran the rest of at one lane. But it sucks is it's like, I think that most cars that should go to the track, if they're your turbo, at least you should have a catch fan on the car.
Oh, yeah.
Help save the cleanup on the car.
Yeah.
On the track.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've blown up with a catch fan on and left very little oil on the track.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think we can do to get more people in the seats and the stands?
A lot of that comes from the car shows, to be honest with you. Like, if you see, like, what Arizona, if you would have went, you would have been like, fuck, this place is packed. People were still trying to get into the track at fucking 2 o'clock.
Damn.
Damn.
That's like race wars.
It's it. I believe that the car show people bring in spectators. Racers bring other racers with them, not necessarily spectators.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that, and a lot of people don't realize that, like, oh, they show cars or whatever, but they bring a payout.
Well,
they bring spectators. They bring gate.
With that, how can we get more racers on the track? Because
Race-
that follows that same question.
No, I mean, you would assume that people get more interested as they go and they spectate it, and then like, oh, well, I want to come race my car. You know?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the classes, I don't know how they would split them up unless they start building more cars. Like, people are like, well, I don't want to run front-wheel drive because I'm not fast enough. Well, necessarily, you don't have to be the fastest to win. It just helps if you are.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, that would go like back towards the Bodie style.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the fastest car to win.
Yeah.
No, you definitely don't. Like I said before, I've lost cars that are second slower than me. Just as I fucking red lit or I did that.
Well, I'm saying, like, that question. Just for example, how could you get TB or Julian or Parks to sack? What could you to get racers to come up or racers to come down?
Sack is hard because
Even down. How to get Lawrence or Myers or any of those guys to come,
those guys
come
will
down.
come to like IFO races, but guaranteed payouts help.
Yeah.
Like Bodie's guaranteed payout, we made the drive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you have a guaranteed payout, it drives more people to show up. Because it's like, am I going to come to a track? And I didn't build a car for it to sit in the garage, personally, me.
No.
Some people may build a car and they just don't want to race anywhere else except for their home track. Great.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that guaranteed payouts help. And I don't know. We'll see where... I mean, the all-motor class has been getting huge lately. I think also
Down
because
here.
it's more affordable to start racing in the all-motor class.
I'll say because the last 3 events or 4 events...
Stay tuned for next episode. It's going to be a good one.
Right? 3 or 4 events? Up north, there's been 2 all-motor cars and that's it.
Well, down here at least.
No, that's what I was going to say.
No, I think down here, that's what I'm saying, because down here, that's what the conversation, I think, was with Mason, was the NorCal and SoCal. I think, with everybody, actually, and Chris too, about, like, can we fill a sport front-wheel drive class up north? I mean, down south, I know we can. But the same thing with all motor.
It's just, I think that a lot of people aren't, like, super amped about Sacramento Raceway.
Well, and that's why I said the way I did. What could you do to get people from Sac down here or down here up there?
You just have to have people that are willing to make the drive, really, is what it is. I mean...
I think a lot of it, too, is with people, you know, I see, like, I see it a lot with, even people who don't want to race me, oh, you're too fast. Okay, well, that should motivate you to want to beat me because, you know, like with your brother Sean, like I was talking to him last time, I was like, bro, like one day I want to sit next to you at the line in competition. And I want to be competitive. Like, that drives me. Like, just saying that now, look, he said, when are we racing? You know what I mean? Like, and it's just motivation. Now it's like, I want to do it.
Some people
are just scared.
Some people want to do it. Some people don't. Maybe they feel like they... Or maybe have a different, more budget-oriented class. But then you got to get the cars to the track. It's the only way you're going to build a change. Like Cliff said, I'll build any class you want. Get me fucking 10 cars minimum. I'll build you any class you want.
You're going to have to get the all-wheel drive class soon.
You know? Well, that's like they'll run FIP, or they'll be like, yo, if I get 10 all-wheel drive cars, and we have an all-wheel drive Honda class. And he'll be like, or all-wheel drive class with 4-cylinder all-wheel drive.
Yeah, Evos and
STIs, yeah.
Yeah.
Then that'll do it. But unless people start showing up, you can't ask for a change before you show a presence.
Yeah, of course.
I think a lot of people too is like, you know, there's people like me, Tony from Lightspeed, you know, a couple of like the 1260 guys, that remember the EF Jack Stone, travels everywhere, and now his car's like fucking way faster than it was when we first met him.
He went 1060.
Yeah, something, but he was in the 1260 class with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
When we were
struggling
down
to
the
make
Fontana.
1260s.
And then turn his program around. But the thing is, he's traveling.
Yep.
He's going to fucking Vegas. He
Sac.
went to SAC. You know, I was surprised as shit to see him up there at the last event. I was like, oh shit. You know, I didn't even know he was coming up. But, you know, I'm willing to travel, but a lot of people don't really want to put that money into their program. They're scared to you know, I think even like, remember that first time we went to Fontana, I was like scared as fuck. I'm like, but am I going to have enough money to cover this, cover that? And I'm like, and he goes, bro, like, we'll make it. Just, you have this amount of money, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I had that negative thoughts. You know what I
I
mean?
think once you do the drive a couple times, you realize that it's not that bad. Like, it could be way fucking worse. Like,
What?
You hear this?
drive to Maryland.
Drive.
Drive to
I'll go
Maryland.
anywhere.
That's
You
what
drive.
you
Let's
complain about
go.
driving.
Nope.
No,
You
but
drive. Let's
I'm saying
go.
It's like drive to Maryland. Now that's a fucking
That's a
drive.
fucking drive, yeah.
Now to get more people
I've
from
driven
out
to
here out there,
Tennessee back and forth by myself
It's-
4 times.
and it's not fun.
No, and I hate driving. I've done South Dakota. I've done Utah. I've done Arizona.
Utah's
all
not
of
too
them
bad.
by myself, and I hate driving.
Arizona's not too bad either.
You gotta think. I mean, I know you drive every day for work, so I can't even compare
I
to
hate
you.
driving.
But I hate it. I want nothing. I do. If you weren't in that car talking to me on this drive down here, I'd have drove that fucking shit right off a cliff with no radio. That shit would have gone right the fuck off a cliff. I would have made it. No, I probably wouldn't even make it to Fresno. I'd have fucking pushed that shit up the side of the road.
You want to borrow
Lit that motherfucker on
portable
fire.
speaker?
Dude, fuck that.
And I told him, I said, look, we can take my Accord. I said, there's only one downfall about the car.
You want to know the fucked up part about this?
He goes, what's that?
He didn't tell me this until we were getting in the car to leave.
Because I did get complained
You
about
would
it.
probably turn around and leave.
No, I would have brought the
Fuck.
Fit, and we would have took the Fit, and I would have
Fuck
fucking
that
said, fuck this car the whole
That
way
fucking
here.
Fit got more boost
Yeah,
problems than the
no,
goddamn
the Fit
BMW.
sucks because you're doing like 75 and you're looking for 6.
75? Where's the 75? I'm doing 35. Saying, where the
Of
fuck
course,
is
we
some
were
more
able to pass
cylinders?
people and shit, but that's like, hey, we just don't got no radio, so I fucking put it on my phone and threw it in the cluster. It's like,
It wasn't
it's
bad.
background noise.
Yeah,
you
it
know what
wasn't
I mean?
bad.
We were
But I'm
talking the
saying,
whole time anyway.
if I was by myself, oh, dude, I wouldn't even make Fresno.
Well, you put headphones in and you drive.
That's
what
illegal.
I
That's
do.
illegal.
That's illegal.
What about if
One
there's
headphone. One headphone is legal.
It's just like one headlight.
Bro, how many times did we get high beams? All these fucking people driving with high beams on,
Right.
fucking drive me nuts.
Yeah. Especially when they're behind you.
Yeah,
Right
they
in
ride
your
your
mirror?
fucking ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's like this. Whoop.
We ran into a few trucks on the way down here like that. We were like, what the fuck?
Like, oh, that's a nice truck, and all of a sudden, just boom, he's got fucking every light in the store. And yeah. fuck that.
They added a LED bar and everything.
Yeah,
9
it's
of
got
them.
4 of them,
Nine-
6 of them.
9 of them.
Yeah.
Shit.
Let me see here. What else I got? What's your favorite race or craziest moment you've seen, been in, or whatever? Like,
Most
I have
memorable
those too.
race you've had, or
I've had it.
seen.
Or I've seen.
Both. Give us both of them.
yeah, let's do both.
Favorite pass or most memorable pass I've seen somebody make Stevie fast in the shadow when he was flying through the air.
Yeah.
And then, but that motherfucker was wild.
Yeah.
Most memorable pass. Probably when I blew up and I lost both front tires with material from the fucking motor.
Oh,
Fuck.
And so I had basically no brakes because we only run front brakes.
No motor.
And no fucking tires.
Jeez. Where was that at?
That was at Fontana. That was when we first started racing the car. And it was a brand new motor, but the guy that machined the rods, and this is, like I said, learning curve, he obviously didn't know what he was doing.
Obviously.
And he over pin fit the rod, so the rod broke on the small end.
Ooh.
And it chopped the fucking block in half. The only thing holding the block together was this much at the top of the block.
Holy shit.
Fuck.
And so it just broke. The motor had like 3 passes on it. Just snapped the rod at the small end.
Jeez.
Because it was loose in there, so it was just doing this on it, you know?
Jeez.
And fucking shit itself.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
I shot all sorts of metal all over everywhere.
No belly pan.
No belly.
There wasn't,
Yeah.
Honda's oiling down.
there
the lanes.
wasn't no belly pans until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I put something to contain this shit. Because if that would have happened when I was going 180 miles an hour, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like when I lost a tire at Bakersfield, we're in the left lane, ended up at the right wall.
Fuck.
That was kind of memorable, you know? Thank God we're in the left lane, pulled the chute as the car's pulling all the way right, straightened us out a little bit, and got it gathered up, but fuck, that I thought we were going to pile it into the wall.
Jeez.
You got some wild rides.
Right?
Yeah.
You're kind of like the king of sport front wheel drive on the West Coast. Kind of.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, okay.
Kind of, because I would say you're one of the most dominant, most
I would
consistent.
say
you know
I would
what
say
mean?
more active
Yeah,
would be
you could say that.
the
Yeah,
better
you're right,
term,
you're right.
you know?
There's only 2 faster, and one of them only went faster recently, and the other one barely races.
Well, this is where I'm getting with this and you've raced and with maybe not raced in line next to them.
You've done events with everybody.
You've done events with almost everybody.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there where you're like,
that you want
I want him?
You want to lane next to?
Honestly, doesn't matter who is there. My buddy and that we race with, and I work on his car, do everything on the car with him. He always wants to race me. He's like, I don't care who I have to race it, but I want to race. He's like, I don't want to race you first round though. I want to race you in the finals. But I want to race you. Yeah. He wants that race. Every time we went to race, either I broke something or he's broke something.
What's wrong with his car?
His car's fine now. Last time I rounded the second
Why
gear,
didn't he go to Bodie?
he towed me up there.
Oh, okay.
Plus, he was with everything.
He said he was working on something that it wasn't ready yet or something.
His car is good to go right now. It's just trying to watch finances like everybody else during this time.
Oh,
because
yeah.
people being out of work and shit like that. You got to make sure you got that roof first.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That's why it's
sure.
nice living here because if I don't pay my rent, I know where the landlord lives, you know?
Right.
I just be like, give me a couple more days, boss.
Turning off your power.
So,
See this switch? Water.
yeah. I know where to cut his water off, too.
That's fucked up.
Shit, even I know where to turn off the fucking water is now.
Yeah. Kick the pipe on the ground.
Yeah.
Done.
You're done, huh?
No more big boy fast
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's about it, you know?
Yeah.
What about OSW?
I thought about going to Orlando. My buddy Hollywood hit me up to go down there. He's like, you got a place to keep the car because you have a shop out there.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And I would love to go, and I wanted to go. It's just finding the funding to go. And then we were going to try to do... Well, originally I wanted to do that and then basically hang out for a little bit and then drive from there to Vegas and do IFO Vegas.
Wait, you just said you want to go to fucking Orlando and then fucking drive all the way back to fucking...
Well, you're coming back
Well, it's
home
on the way, it's on
anyway.
the way.
It's on the way, you know. You
So
go across 40, and then you go north 14
Yeah, and then
or
you're
17
there.
or whatever the hell it is.
But well,
Like
because
he passes through it or something.
we planned on racing Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
So if we went to OSW and
You might as well hit on the way back.
the plan was if we were gonna do OSW, we're gonna do OSW then go to Vegas. But then we decided we'll just go to Vegas, and then that was our plan. And then Vegas got canceled, and then the whole OSW thing is like, should we go? And then I'm like, maybe let's just do NS because it's an IFO race. It's closer, and at least we could go have fun with the car.
Yeah.
And I got friends in Texas anyways.
You used to live there.
But I would
He's
love
got
to go to
peoples.
OSW and check out all those guys, you know.
Oh yeah.
Hang out with all those. Because
Well,
you got all the...
we've
you got
talked about that.
Bello down there, which is cool as fuck.
Yeah, there's 3 races that we've always talked about going at some point. H-Day, World Cup, and OSW.
Yeah, OSW, they have a lot of cool races.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of cool racers that are there too, you know. A lot of the guys from Florida are super cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always joke around with Hollywood all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while we'll get on live and I'll joke around with them and talk about bullshit and just whatever.
Yeah. He was the one that wanted me to go out there. He's like, come out here, and I like, most of the time, like, it's not too hard to like get me to try to do something.
Did
you
he
know?
buy you those shoes?
Yeah.
I bet.
No.
Him and his fucking Louis Vuitton Crocs.
Bro, these aren't even Crocs, dog. This is how ghetto we are. Right here. These right here, Daiso Market,
Yeah.
I think they were $3.50.
You don't know about the Hollywood Crocs.
Bro,
That
these
shit's
were
funny as hell.
250 yen.
What is that, like 7 cents?
No, they're like $2.50 maybe. I don't know what kind of exchange rate they give you at Daiso, you know, but I'm like, fuck it. They comfy enough for the garage, you know?
Oh, that's
I don't got to
funny.
worry about ripping my toenail off on a fucking engine stand.
Right.
Um,
Jeez.
But yeah, OSW, wanted to go, just don't think it's going to happen this year. Plus,
Yeah.
I think a lot of racing this year's kind of like.
it's not just me, I need somebody else that I can count on with driving and stuff like that. Well, I mean, then again, it's like, he's like, well, I have work and shit like that.
He's got time off.
Hey, that's why they always ask me when I miss days. They're like, "Hey, you want to use PTO?" Nope. Save that shit. Just save it for when I need it.
Yeah. So,
I got weeks off next week or next year.
I know.
So-
Once I get my 1 year, I'll fucking have set time. So
yeah.
coming up in January, I'll have time. So
It's just that too. It's not always just what I want to do. I have to talk to like everybody else, and then I have to make sure everything's cool around the house too.
yeah.
Because I got dogs. I got to make sure that are fed, and like
Yeah, oh yeah.
got to make sure that nothing fishy happens, like, or no one tries to like do anything here. Because there's someone jumped the fence running from the cops before,
I mean, let me know when you guys are leaving, and I'll go ahead and make a
That's
stop by.
happened to me in my neighborhood 5 times.
and they fucking
in that
found him
year.
in this motorhome. And they fucking sent the dog in there. There's blood in there, so from the dog ripping this motherfucker apart.
You got something good out of the last one, though.
You
The
found,
bush?
you found all the crack in the bush. Right?
No, I found a pistol.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you about that after. We'll
Yeah,
finish it up.
I was trying to.
to.
That's why I said the bush.
I returned it safely. To
Hey, what's up with that person turning in the box full of money that they found on the side of the road up there?
What?
A couple months
We'll
back?
talk about that later.
The
Racing
hell?
and only racing, bud.
So aliens? No.
So alter universes.
Yeah. I'm fast.
Sometimes. Fast
Um,
asleep in the car.
Mm-mm.
No, when we're driving to the track, somebody else is driving. I'm just like,
You're talking to the wrong person.
Is there anything that what do you feel like you're like? I mean, if you don't want to tell us, that's cool. But like your race program with your car, is there something that you feel like you need to work on to improve? You know, I mean, we talked about the power and the weight, but is there anything else?
I think we
I
have
don't know what kind of question it is. I'm
I
just,
think we have a good working how we work. Like we got Kenny does tires, your Roach does tires, and we have a good like everything works
don't work the shit
decent.
out that dude.
Yeah,
So everyone works good but your brother. He just gets drunk the whole time.
he gets drunk most of the time.
like
Usually,
like Redding.
We're friends.
usually
Redding was hella
usually
funny.
that's not a problem till the end of the day when it comes time to load up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, where is this motherfucker? He's probably out getting drunk.
That was the funniest shit about Redding. You're over here trying to get your car ready. Roasters are getting
No.
your car ready. That motherfucker's already got a beer in his hand, and you're like, "What the fuck? Come on!"
First thing in the morning, it was like 10 when we got there. He's
Yeah,
like, hey,
bro.
beer? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker all the time. Guaranteed tomorrow. Fucking 5:30 in the morning. He'll be drinking a fucking beer.
I was like, when we pulled up today, he was like, "Yeah, I know it's only early, but beer." I was like, "No."
He
When he goes, how did you twist your arm for that one? I was like, yeah, I really twisted.
he has a drinking problem for sure.
Nah.
Just a little one.
There's no problems.
No, you would have to go to see help if it was a problem.
Exactly.
And he definitely does.
It's like this guy.
We're driving down last night. He goes, how do you function on
Dude, he's like fucking. I'm not gonna state how many he was down, but he had a few tall cans. on the way down.
I'm not gonna say how many, but a few.
I was more than one.
Yeah.
And it was more than a couple.
Dude.
And it was a few or more. So it was
we were driving. I'm like, you went to work this morning at like 4. I said, now you're a fucking 9-pack down of tall cans.
And then
his eyes doing this. And I'm like, are you falling asleep drunk? He's like, I just got to pee. I was like, all right. So we pull over and he pees. He goes, I'm good now. Let's go. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you function?
And then it has the nerve to go, how do you fall asleep so fast? Like, motherfucker,
dude, this motherfucker gets to the hotel. He's like, what time you want to be up? I was like, I don't know, whenever. I said, we ain't got shit till like 10. He's like, all right. I'm like, what?
That's good.
This was wild.
I'm questioning. I answered way too many today. So, sure.
I'm out.
Go for it.
I'm pretty out of questions. Is there anything you want to touch on?
I'm good. I'm just over here entertaining you guys.
Do you want to give shout outs?
I don't even have a list of anything. So, I mean, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that contributes to our program, you know? So, Arius, Webcam, Rywire, Portflow, Ken's Race Engines, Clutch Masters, Garrett Turbo. I'm sure there's tons more. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Any shout-outs you want to give? No, that's cool. Anything else?
Drag Cartel. They always help us out. He's always willing to lend a hand.
I watch them online a lot. They try to help a lot of people.
Yeah, Jeremy's really cool.
Yeah.
And he's all about helping racers.
Well, that's what I was talking to John and Ken about when I was talking about the S2000.
Yeah.
They were like, just talk to Jeremy. He was like, he'll walk you through any of that stuff that you want.
Yeah. Jeremy's super cool.
So
he's actually probably one of the more down people to lend a hand or advice than anybody else in the industry.
Yeah.
And like, you call the shop, he answers, he's right there. You know?
That's cool. All right. Well, cool.
I'm done.
Cool. Till next time.
Till another.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Thank you.
Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share the whole thing. Don't forget, we're on audio format now too. I'll put those up here.
You're the only one here with the Android? Is that why?
I got an iPhone too. I got both.
Oh, okay.
I play both sides.
He's got two.
Nah,
Both sides.
Whoa.
Hey,
I don't know where to lean. I don't know where to lean here. Both sides trannies. Fuck them. God damn it.
I mean,
I drink water.
and he drinks beer, so he got a little loose on both sides, you know?
And he was trying to say he was the big spoon.
Hey, y'all got that one bed last night that you had to share, huh?
It was
Hell
two
no.
beds. Fuck out of here.
He slept in the bathtub.
Well, it was 2 beds. What, you took them apart? Or did he push them together to make one big bed?
With so much room for activity.
So much room for activities. Didn't you just hear him?
Did you push both beds together?
No.
Can we end this? Thank you. Thank you, guys.